Hey everyone, this is Walter, and we're back here with more stories I found on Reddit. Today we'll be covering Reddit Am I the Asshole, the place to ask Redditors if you were right or wrong in any particular situation you might find yourself in, with rules like no violence. Anyway, let's just get right into it with stories from Reddit Am I the Asshole. This is from a similar subreddit that has less rules. Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend we aren't naming our son after him? No idea why that's in all caps, but let's read on. This is what he sent me the next morning, after I tried to tell him that I didn't want to name our son after him, because there have already been so many in his family with his name, and I want our son to be his own person. I told him we should pick a different first and middle name since my boyfriend's last name would be on the birth certificate either way. Okay, so I guess he sent this completely insane message. I'm glad we had that talk, because it made me realize things. You think you're entitled to be the sole creator of my kids, and it hasn't been that way for thousands of years, and you're brainwashed into thinking that my kids would be mainly yours to decide what happens to them. Women have every reproductive right in the world, and the guy has no say in anything, and it shouldn't be that way. It wasn't that way for thousands of years until feminism took over the minds of gullible, retarded women. What happens to my kids is my decision, because they come from my balls. They come from my body and into yours to be grown. If I can't have a son named after me, I can't be with you. That whole attitude of, if I didn't want you in the room or involved in me giving birth, then I could, and you don't have a say in what goes on the birth certificate, is completely disgusting and disrespectful. When I have kids, they'll be raised on traditional values. It's not forcing them to be someone they're not. It's what's been done forever. And I'm not going to let my kids be raised without traditional values. If I want to name my kid after me and keep it in the family, then I'm going to with or without you. I need a son, so if you want to take sole control over the name of my lineage, then I can't be with you. Well, his biology isn't the greatest, I gotta say. That must not be a traditional science. It's so shitty that he's just saying my kids to the potential mother. And you know he's going to talk like that for the future going forward too. I'm not pregnant. He was mentioning for us to start trying to have a family, and the name topic came up. I kind of saw this as a red flag, but needed confirmation he's a bad seed. Oh, thank fuck for that. Please add that into the main post. Also, red flag and get the fuck out. Do not have a child with this man. I kind of think gullible, retarded women is a phrase that puts the kibosh on, well, everything. I wonder if he refers to his own mother as gullible and retarded. OP, do not reproduce with this piece of shit. Can't even call him a man, as that would be too respectful. Any man who shit talks feminism is a red flag. Feminism is literally just, I want the same rights to myself, my life, my finances, and my body that you enjoy over yours. Any man who is threatened by that wants a servant, not an equal life partner. No thanks. Okay, that's really good that she isn't pregnant and is presumably leaving this guy, because he seems really aggressive and annoying. Probably not as manly as he thinks he is either. Up next, oh man, I love a good food story. Am I the asshole for blowing up at my parents for something my adult sister did? I, 26 female, have a sister, Amy, 28 female, who has always had a difficult relationship with food. She was bullied as a kid and turned to food for comfort. As an adult, she still struggles with self-control, especially around things she finds appetizing. Our parents have never set boundaries with her around food, and that's carried into adulthood. She currently lives with them, and they do all the grocery shopping and cooking. My husband, 28 male, recently had a birthday, and I planned a surprise party. I sent him out of the house for a few hours so I could set up and ask my parents to come help. I specifically asked them not to bring Amy. Setting up involved putting out snacks, drinks, and a homemade cake with frosting. They showed up with Amy anyway, saying it wouldn't be fair to exclude her. I gave her a few small tasks and specifically asked her not to touch any of the food until guests arrived, but I was too busy to keep a constant eye on her. At one point, I went into the kitchen and found Amy with the fridge open, eating the frosting out of the mixing bowl. She had eaten nearly half of it. As soon as she saw me, she burst into tears and said she'd only meant to try a little but couldn't stop. My parents heard us and came in. My mom said it wasn't that big of a deal since the cake was untouched and I still had enough frosting for a crumb coat. But I had planned to do specific cake decorations, and now there wasn't enough frosting. I didn't have the time or ingredients to make more. My dad suggested going to the store to buy a tub of pre-made frosting, saying it was the same thing. I explained my husband tries to avoid a lot of the ingredients found in store-bought frosting and wouldn't want that. My dad said to just not tell him since he wouldn't even know the difference. That suggestion was super frustrating to me. I told my parents that they couldn't convince me that this was no big deal, and that they had allowed this by not setting boundaries with Amy's binge eating and by bringing her to set up. They told me to back off and be more sensitive to my sister and that it wasn't her fault. I responded by saying that I was more angry at them, because at least Amy felt bad while they were trying to downplay the situation. They got upset and said it wasn't fair to blame them for Amy's choices, and that she was an adult and they can't control her. They also said that they were trying to help by giving suggestions, and that I was being stubborn by shutting all of them down. They ended up leaving, and now they're giving me the silent treatment, even though Amy has apologized for eating the frosting. Am I the asshole for involving them with this? Not the asshole. You knew this could be a problem. You asked your parents to leave Amy at home. Your parents refused. You asked them to keep her out of the kitchen. They refused. Amy ruined your plans for the cake and your parents gave unhelpful suggestions, and they're mad because you were right? Because you spoke up? Nope. It is completely crazy to me, the idea of not being able to trust your adult sibling around food like this. And I know a lot more people have to live with their parents in this economy, but it's still kind of weird to have them taking care of you and doing the shopping and cooking at 28. I have certainly mocked men for less. Got to love how they tried to guilt OP by saying don't blame Amy, and then when OP goes, I'm blaming you, they turn around and blame Amy. You caught that too, eh? That's one of the biggest problems with enablers. They don't want to blame the person with the addiction, and they don't want to blame themselves for enabling. Not the asshole. Yes, she's an adult, but as this has been ongoing since childhood, of course your parents are to blame. They did not get her the help she needed as a child. Now they excuse and enable her behavior. Yes, she has a mental illness. But that doesn't excuse her or them from consequences of the actions her mental illness causes. She needs help, like serious help, like a live-in program. This is very extreme. Not the asshole. There is something seriously wrong with Amy. Eating frosting directly out of the mixing bowl? I don't care how much was left. There's no way that you could use that on a cake that would be eaten by people other than Amy. She needs help and your parents enable the shit out of her. Does she work? Is she incapable of living on her own? Man, if this is how she functions when people are vaguely watching her, I assume she wouldn't do very well living on her own. Okay, let's hear about a wedding. Well, not really a wedding, but there's almost a wedding in the story. Am I the asshole for keeping the bridesmaid dress and wearing it after I got kicked out of the wedding? So I, 26 female, was supposed to be a bridesmaid for my friend's, 27 female, wedding. We used to be close in college, but haven't really talked that much since then. I honestly was kind of surprised she even asked me. Planning was a disaster. She was micromanaging every single thing, and kept acting like we were all just accessories in her aesthetic. She wanted us to have identical nails and lashes, and like I get wanting to have a vibe, but I said in the group chat I wasn't doing long fake nails since I work in healthcare, and she got mad and made some comment like, then maybe you're not a fit for the bridal party. So I said, maybe I'm not, and I guess that was that. A few days later, she texted me saying she was taking me out of the wedding party, but I could still come as a guest, which to be honest felt kinda humiliating, especially after I already bought the dress, shoes, and paid for alterations, over $350. I asked if I could still wear the dress to the wedding, since it's not like I can return it, and she said absolutely not. She doesn't want anyone wearing that dress unless they're in the photos, and didn't want reminders of negativity at her wedding. So I didn't go. But yeah, 2 days later, I wore the dress to brunch and posted pics and tagged the store. It was definitely the same dress and same color scheme she used for the wedding, so our mutuals realized it and I guess it got back to her. She sent this whole thing about how I was being disrespectful and intentionally trying to ruin her vibe, and I was like, it's a dress I paid for and it looks good. Some friends say I had every right, others say I clearly posted it to stir the pot, which I didn't. The dress was expensive and the brunch was very formal and I needed a dress and I had it so I wore it. Am I the asshole? I at least understand the bride not wanting the OP to wear the dress to the wedding, but I can't believe she just doesn't address that this woman spent over $350 because of her. And she wants it to be completely wasted money, I guess. Not the asshole. If she was that concerned about you wearing the dress elsewhere, then she could have given you the money and bought it back from you. It's your dress and you could do what you want with it. She's desperate to cause drama. Don't let her take up any more of your energy. You definitely were stirring the pot, which is understandable if things really went down the way you're describing it. But it does make you sound silly, trying to say you didn't do it to provoke her, at least partially. It wasn't my intention. I had a fancy brunch and had nothing to wear, and considering I dropped quite the amount on the dress, I wanted to wear it and show it off. Yeah, I think wearing it 2 days later with mutual friends is definitely trying to stir the pot. Doesn't make her the asshole, but she is lying to Reddit. I tagged the store because I always get people asking where my dresses are from and all. I have 20-ish K following, so I didn't want to keep like I was trying to hide the brand name. And the brand isn't like an exclusive one, it's a basic store. Oh man, she's like an influencer, but with about as many followers as I have. Not sure if that counts or not, but I am sure she was doing this on purpose. And let's read one last story, but it has a few updates. Am I the asshole for saying no, no, no to my friend for the art they gave me? So about 10 months ago, my friend gave me 3 little artwork pieces that they thought were really ugly and they hated. I absolutely adore them, and I think they're very pretty, so I have them in my living room, and so I redecorated my living room and rearranged everything so I could have these paintings in a very specific spot. One day they were over, and one of my friends that they have yet to meet until that day was over as well. My other friend who did not give me the artwork looked up the art pieces through Google Lens because they also liked them and wanted to get some for themselves. That friend found out that the artwork that was given to me was worth $1,000 a piece. And I said, wow, that's an insane price. So the friend who gave me the art pieces told me that I needed to give them back to him. And he started taking them off the wall, and I said, absolutely not. You gave those to me. He started yelling at me because I wouldn't give them back. Then he said I better pay him $3,000 for all of them, and I said no because you gifted them to me almost a year ago. So he told me that he was going to call the police, and he left because me and my other friend kicked him out. Am I the asshole for keeping them? I think maybe I'd understand a bit if they turned out to be worth a fortune. But apparently this guy was gifted these paintings and then gave them away in the same month. That's his own fault. It's not socially acceptable at all to ask for them back, let alone start grabbing them. Update. So funny thing happened. The other friend who priced them also looked up something they also gave me and realized the price of it. So both of these friends are wanting their stuff back. So today I am planning on just giving them the art pieces and the other items that both have given me over the past few years. It's really disheartening to have to go through this. But dealing with this drama is worse than just redoing my living room and getting rid of the things that they gave me back to them. The friend who looked up the price of what they gave me and said that they were just lending me the items, even though I have written proof that they were given to me. So both friends are going to be acquaintances from now on. Life's weird. Update 3. They have been appraised. And this part is actually funny. So the relative of that friend who gave them the art pieces is the one who made them. The relative copied a style from a different artist and recreated the pieces for that friend. The relative signed the back, and when the person who appraised the artwork told me the artist name, I laughed because that's that friend's relative. LOL, I let that ex-friend know that their relative created the pieces for them. I told him since they were made by his relative, I would happily give them back. After I said that, this ex-friend said I could just throw them away because he didn't want them anymore. Since it had no value, money-wise to them, they did not care. So technically I have 3 art pieces that are priceless. Anyway, I thank their relative for creating these pieces, because without these pieces, I would have never known the type of people I was friends with. I'm keeping them forever. Also, I gave him a $2,000 couch before he gave me the art. Yeah, the whole thing sounds almost like a scam after the updates. And crazy how they'll throw away a friendship for a chance at a few $1,000s. He'd probably kill someone for that much if he thought he could get away with it. Anyway, it's about all the time I have for you today. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you like the video, please give it a like. If you have something to say about the stories, or my content in general, let me hear it in the comments. I'll be reading them while the video's new. If you're new here, consider subscribing for more of the same, and some more nice guys coming up. Big thanks also to my generous patrons who help by supporting me more directly over on Patreon. Really helps me out. Well, I had a break, and I should be getting back to work here. I have some solid Reddit material to cover. Have a great day, everyone, and pick your friends carefully. We see a lot of shitty friends here.